Hey everyone, it is the Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. It was 76 today. Our forecast of 72 seemed high enough, but boy, we got some bonus degrees out there this afternoon. No records today. The warmest November day overall on record occurred on this date. In 1961, I believe it was 80, so that record was out of reach. Now, tomorrow's record of 77, I think we can tie it and perhaps even break it because there's no reason why tomorrow will be any cooler than today. We're going to have just about as much sun. We're going to start the day warmer, basically the same air mass. So I think 78 is not outside of the realm of possibility for tomorrow. Remarkable stuff for the first week of November. Clouds are staying off to the south this evening. It is crystal clear. And the northern lights last night didn't make an appearance this far to the south. We have a chance again tonight. Again, it's a small chance. I don't like to put too much emphasis on this because a lot of times this kind of disappoints. But it's a decent chance that low on the northern horizon. Make sure it's low. You're not going to see sheets of light high in the sky like they see up in Canada and Iceland and Greenland and places like that. But low on the northern horizon, you might see some greenish tints, perhaps a few other colors, if you're lucky. It's a close call. The view line shown here on the space weather prediction site comes down to about our latitude. So if you happen to be out and have a clear view of the northern horizon tonight and want to give it a shot, let me know if you see anything out there. Someone else also asked about the space station. We haven't had too many passes lately. What is coming up? Well, there's a decent pass Thursday morning. Now, maybe a little bit cloudy Thursday morning, but at 6:25, pretty bright pass just before daybreak. Saturday morning, too cloudy probably for that. It's at 6:15. But Sunday morning, the sky should be clear. Unfortunately, it comes at a pretty early hour. Nice space station pass at 5:24 in the morning on Sunday. Most of the upcoming passes, in fact, all of the upcoming passes, are in the early morning hours. There's no evening passes coming up anytime real soon of the space station. All right, so tomorrow and Thursday, smooth sailing. Let's talk about the next rain chance. As we've been talking about, that is still Friday. Show you what the NAM model here has on Friday. Here's Friday morning. Our cold fronts at this point, Friday morning at daybreak, right in through here with showers breaking out from roughly I-71 on west. So it may not be raining at the very start of the day on Friday, but I think the showers push in by midday at the latest. And then as we get into the afternoon, these are going to be pretty quick movers. So by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the back edge may be already trying to push through. So this could be a 3 or 4, 5-hour window of showers. Could even be an isolated thunderstorm. Here's the NAM CAPE values, convective available potential energy. A low amount, but enough to maybe generate some thunder. CAPE is a measure of the instability in the atmosphere. So there may be enough for some isolated thunder on Friday. It's going to be a windy day. Notice the isobars are packed fairly tightly together here. Show you the wind speeds here on the model. Showing some greens here. The scale is off your screen, but I can tell you that this is about 25 to 35 mile per hour winds shown here on the model. So a windy day on Friday. But again, we should dry things out the deeper we go into the afternoon towards evening. We've been carrying an outside chance of a shower on Saturday. I've removed that from the forecast now. I do think Saturday is a dry day. Any lake effect sprinkles should be just confined to maybe Ashtabula County. In fact, we'll probably start to see some sun on Saturday. Second half of the weekend, Sunday looks pretty good. It's going to be chilly, but it should be sunny as a nice dome of high pressure builds right over the Ohio River Valley for the end of the upcoming weekend. All right, as far as the longer range, here's the 16-day GFS. Again, don't take the numbers verbatim because they're bound to be wrong. Of course, even in the short term, I mean, these numbers are way too low. It's going to be 77, 78 degrees tomorrow, not 70. But keep an eye on the trends. Here's our weekend cool down. We should see a nice warm-up early next week. We're not going to get back in the 70s, but we could easily get into the 60s during the first half of next week. And in the longer range, the numbers kind of trend back towards average or maybe a little below average for mid-month. But I think any below average periods are going to be very brief this month. Overall, November should be a warm one. All right, I told you I'd check in on El Nino and the winter forecast. We'll do this from time to time as we get closer to meteorological winter. This is the sea surface anomaly map, difference from average in other words. So lots of warm water through here. There's your El Nino region. Notice the warmest water, though, compared to average, is not banked up against South America. That's different from 1997, the last super El Nino, and basically a non-winter for us in 97, 98. that warm water was banked right up against South America. This time it's a little farther west, which leads us to believe that this winter should not be any sort of repeat of 97, 98. It should be a colder and snowier winter than that winter, but it should still be, relatively speaking, a better winter than the last two. That's our forecast. Notice all the warm water up here and off the coast of the northeastern U.S. as well, and that can have implications on what the jet stream does throughout the winter. Here's the latest climate forecast system model for winter, December, January, February. Hasn't really changed its tune here. A lot of warm air, northern tier of states, chillier than average in the south. And around here, we're somewhere in between and probably on the warm side. If you remember from last week with our winter forecast, our official forecast is for the whole winter to be about 1 degree above average with somewhat below average snowfall. So that's the official winter forecast. We'll be, of course, keeping an eye on things and making any needed changes as we get closer to winter and El Nino really starts to show its hand. Thank you for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight. Election coverage coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. Full recap of all the major issues, of course. An abbreviated weather segment, especially when the weather's quiet. The weather segment tends to be a little bit shorter on election night. So I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11, and have a great Tuesday night.